If you want to start going to the gym but have literally no idea where to start, or you feel anxious about literally just walking through the doors, then this is the video for you. As an anxious gym girly myself, I'm gonna give you a step-by-step guide of how to go from feeling like a deer in headlights to a confident gym regular. Let's jump right in. Step number one is picking the right gym, and if you already have a gym membership, don't skip this part because I might convince you why you should switch yours. Picking the right gym is super important, especially as a beginner, and I have a recommendation that some people might think is a little off, but I'm actually a big fan of the more chain-like gyms like 24-Hour Fitness or Crunch, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that they tend to be very beginner-friendly. I think they attract a demographic of people who are really just trying to move their bodies for the sake of moving their bodies and exercising for their health, rather than people at the gym that I go to where they're really trying to look a certain kind of way, which is also totally fine. But I think when you're surrounded by a lot of people who really care about the way that they look, it can definitely make you feel a little more insecure if you're starting from a place where you don't love how you look personally. So going somewhere like Crunch or 24-Hour Fitness, you're gonna just automatically be surrounded by people who don't really care so much about that. And I think that's really good if you're a beginner. There's just a lot less gym bros. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a lot less gym bros. Another really underrated reason to use a gym like this is because they all use the same type of machines, like the same brand of machines. So you can actually go online and look up how to use that specific machine. So if you're a planner like me, you can look up how to use the machine before you even go to the gym. This is something I'm going to talk a little bit more about later in the video, but that is just one helpful thing about going to a gym that is like widely known. Another thing to consider when picking a gym is if you know someone who goes there, it can be really helpful to just ask them some questions about their experience and see if it's going to be a good fit for you. Obviously, affordability plays a really big factor for a lot of people going to the gym, which is another reason I'm a fan of things like 24-Hour Fitness. They are affordable and hopefully not too complicated to cancel. Okay, so you decided what gym you want to go to, but now you have to figure out how to get signed up and what that process looks like. And I know it can feel a little bit overwhelming and confusing, but I'm going to walk you through it because it's actually pretty easy. The first thing you'll want to do is go online and see if they have any current offers or specials going on. I would say most of the time these gyms have some sort of cool offer that they're running, so make sure you're paying attention to that. And then you can probably sign up online to do a tour of the facilities before you actually sign up for the gym. And this is a huge thing I recommend for my anxious girlies because you're able to get in there, walk around and see the space before you even sign up for your membership. So you're already just going to feel more confident knowing where everything is, so you don't have to just like wander around aimlessly and ask someone. You should be able to book that online, but if not, you could always call them or just show up in person and ask if you can do a tour and get signed up. When you're taking that tour, make sure that you're taking notes, make sure that you're paying attention, that you're seeing where everything is, make sure that you're asking for specific things, like if you want to know where the pool is, you plan on swimming, like make sure you have them take you to see everything that you feel anxious about or that you want to make sure you know where it is, like the locker room, sauna, anything like that. Just literally ask them to show you those specific places. Also make sure that you're coming with questions. If you have questions or concerns, things that you're worried about, come with questions and ask them. A lot of the time after these tours, what will happen is they will sit you down and they'll go over what a membership looks like, the policies, all the perks, the different levels of membership that you can get. Definitely start with like the most basic package. You don't know how often you're going to be there and what you're going to be taking advantage of. So just go for whatever's the most affordable. And this is again another really good opportunity to just learn and listen and ask any unanswered questions you have. Once you get signed up, you're likely going to download some sort of like app or have some sort of scanny thing that you need to be able to get into the gym, which we will talk about in the next step. All right, now it is your first day at the gym. You're maybe a little bit nervous. It kind of feels like the first day of school. I have been there. I just started at a new gym myself and it was very nerve-wracking the first day, but these are the things that I did to make sure that I felt as confident as possible going into it. The first thing, and I recommend this to everyone, is buy yourself a cute outfit. I understand that not everybody can do that, not everyone can afford that, but if you can splurge on yourself, do it. And it doesn't even have to be anything expensive, but I think having an outfit that you feel really cute and comfortable in makes a really big difference. Like you want to go into the gym feeling as comfortable and confident as possible. And if you're going in wearing something that doesn't make you feel like the best version of you or at least comfortable, then you're not gonna have a very easy time feeling comfortable doing anything else. So treat yourself to something nice. Amazon has so many like affordable sports bras and leggings. Just get something that's gonna feel really comfortable, like something that's gonna make you feel confident in your skin. The next step is to go on a day where you don't have a time constraint. I recommend maybe going on a weekend. It might be a little less busy. That's gonna take a lot of the pressure off of you to kind of get in and out and try to do things quickly. If you just can go and not have that time restraint, I think it alleviates some of the pressure and it gives you the time also to explore the space, go around and explore when you wouldn't be able to do that with less time. All right, so now it's time. You've parked your car, you're about to walk through the door. Make sure that you have your little barcode ready to scan. Pretty much every gym is gonna have that, whether they give it to you on a card or you have it on your phone. Have the barcode out and ready to go, and then you'll walk through the doors, you'll see the front desk or whatever if they have a scan machine, and you'll just scan your little barcode, and then you're gonna go right to the locker room. The first thing you'll always wanna do is just go to the locker room. It's gonna give you that opportunity to put your stuff away, to, you know, freshen up, get ready, whatever it is that you wanna do. Maybe just even take a moment to breathe and, you know, turn on a podcast that you're gonna listen to, your music, whatever. Go and collect yourself. Now, every gym does lockers differently. The gym that I used to go to, you'd have to bring your own lock, but the gym that I go to now, they have like self-serving locks, so I don't need one. So make sure that is something that you ask in your tour as well. Do I need to bring my own lock? Do you have lockers there? And I know for me, this is something that can be really nerve-wracking. When I just went to this new gym, I was really nervous about the locker situation, and I told myself going in, like, if I can't figure it out, it is okay to ask. So actually preemptively, when I got into the gym that day, I asked the front desk, I said, hey, do I need a lock for my locker, or can I just put a code in? And they were like, oh yeah, you can just put the code in, everything's fine. So that's something to ask even before your first day, just so you know going into it how to use those lockers. You can even ask on the tour, like, hey, can you literally show me how to use the locker? It's perfectly fine to be anxious about stuff like that. I'm the same exact way. Go in, get yourself ready. The only things you should be bringing onto the gym floor, and we will talk about gym etiquette and gym basics a little further down, but the only thing you should really be bringing with you is your phone and your water and your headphones. You don't want to bring a gym bag with you. You'll see some people bringing their gym bags. Don't do that. You don't really need anything. You just need your phone on you need your headphones, and you need a water bottle. You shouldn't be bringing anything else onto the gym floor. There's just not really a reason for it. Bring those things with you, leave everything else in your locker, and then the first thing you're gonna do as an anxious gym girly is head over to the treadmill. Now, the reason that I say this is because the gym floor, it can be a little overwhelming. It can be a little gym bro-ish. It can just be like, I don't know, it's just scary. It can be scary for a beginner, but most of us at some point in our lives have gone on a treadmill. So it feels safe and it feels comfortable. So the first thing I always say is go over and just get on a treadmill. You know how to turn it on, you know how to get it started. Take a nice leisurely stroll. And as you're doing this, use it as an opportunity to scope out the vibes, okay? Look around, look and see what machines look familiar to you, what machines look interesting to you, watch some other people and see what they're doing on their workouts, and just kind of get a feel of the vibes. And if that is the only thing that you do on your first day, that is okay. I know as an anxious girly, like there are times where it's like, hey, maybe that's all I can do, and that is okay. You are still going, you're still showing up for yourself, and you're gonna continue to grow, and you're gonna continue to feel more comfortable doing other things, so that is okay. But go on the treadmill, enjoy your walk on the treadmill, and just really scope everything out and really like check in with the vibe so that you can kind of see how to adapt and see how to get out there and feel confident for yourself. Step 4 is going to be going to the gym floor, going into the scary place. You can do this, like I said, on that first day, or you can wait until you feel more comfortable. If you want to go for a whole week and just be on the treadmill and scope out the vibes, that is perfectly fine. But when you are ready to move to the gym floor, here are the tips that I have for you. The first thing is to come ready with a workout written down on your phone. Now, a couple tips for this. One, you can do something that you saw on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, whatever you want to do, you can have it. What I will say is this, it's very rare to find an actual beginner-friendly workout on any social media platform. That's part of why I'm working really hard to post a lot of actual beginner-friendly workouts on this page. But I unfortunately haven't worked quickly enough to get like a ton of content on here with that. But make sure if you subscribe, like that is something that I'm really working to do. But find some very basic movements. And I'm actually gonna give you an example of one here on this next slide. So make sure you screenshot that, and that's gonna just be a really good beginner-friendly upper body day. So one thing to keep in mind when you are working out is that there's several different muscle groups that you can focus on throughout a workout. So you've maybe heard the idea of what's called a push-pull split. And this is usually a 4-day-a-week workout method where you are targeting specific muscle groups. So a day 1 would look like biceps and back. Day 2 would be triceps and shoulders. And then for your lower body, you would do a quad focused day and then a hamstring and glute focused day. So that would kind of be your 4 workout days. That that is like a later on thing. But the reason that I'm telling you this is because on that first workout, what you should do is just focus on one muscle group. So the example that I just gave you is a lower body quad day, because it's my favorite thing to do, and I think it can be a really good beginner-friendly day. When you're focusing on just one muscle group, you're gonna probably be just in the same place at the gym. You're not gonna have to go from place to place to place. So rather than doing like a full body day for your first day at the gym where you're gonna have to bounce all over the place, stay in that one area and just use those few machines so that you can just feel comfortable with that before you start doing other workouts in other places. And you'll notice from that workout example that I gave you as well that I'm really just keeping it simple. We're gonna do 3 machines total so that you don't, again, have to bounce all over the place and have to know how to use all of these machines. You just need to learn how to use those 3. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, one of the best things that you can do is research ahead of time on YouTube how to use those specific machines. So for example, the leg press machine, if you went on YouTube, you'd be able to see ahead of time how to use it. And some machines are gonna look different than others. Like I said earlier, it can be really helpful to know exactly what the brand is of the machine. So another example is something to pay attention to on your tour, so you can write that down. But when you know how to use the machine going in, it is gonna make it a little less overwhelming because there are a lot of things you have to do, right? You have to figure out what the weight is. Sometimes it's something that you clip in, sometimes it's something you pull out and adjust. But when you go in ahead of time, paying attention and knowing what you're gonna have to do, it does make it a lot easier. So you'll keep your workout simple so that you don't have to feel overwhelmed, and you'll go in with that workout planned and knowing what machines you're gonna do, knowing how to use those machines because you have those tutorials. Now, on the off chance that something ain't right, it's not adding up, you don't know how to use the machine, you don't know how to adjust it, which is perfectly normal. These things can be complicated and confusing, and if you are a first timer or a beginner, you're not expected to know how to do those things. It is okay to ask someone for help. And I know my anxious girlies right now are like, I would rather die than ask somebody for help. Genuinely, the people at the gym are so happy to help you, whether it's an employee or just somebody working out. Nobody is going to think anything badly of you. In fact, I think really they'll think that it's honorable that you are asking for help because it shows that you're taking initiative and that you want to do something right. So many people will just go and do something that they don't know how to do, and just keep doing it, and they don't want to accept help from people. Don't be that person. Be willing to accept help. And I know that as someone who's been in the gym for a few years now, even though I'm around a lot of like toxic, they give the vibes of like toxic gym people, they are so happy to help. And I think it's also really important to remember that everybody starts somewhere. Like at some point, everyone there started somewhere. And I would be so incredibly shocked if somebody had any sort of negativity or attitude if you were asking for help. That would literally be insane. And if it happens, then you can straight up blame me and I will apologize and like, I'll owe you my life, I guess. But don't be afraid to ask for help. It really, I know it's scary, but don't be afraid. We found the gym, we toured the gym, we went to our first day and we did our first workout on the gym floor. Maybe we're feeling a little bit confident. Maybe we're feeling a little excited. Hopefully some of the anxiety has subsided, but something that you want to pay attention to is just general gym etiquette. What do I need to know? Like, how am I supposed to behave? What are the vibes? I'm seeing some people wiping down their machines and these people over here aren't wiping down their machines. Am I going to be looked at as a weirdo if I wipe mine down? Or do people think I'm disgusting if I don't? These are all the questions that I had when I was at the gym. So this is a collection of gym etiquette that I have learned going to different gyms. This just seems to be the general consensus and the general vibe of things that you need to know. The first one is wipe down your machines. Now, listen, you're going to see people who don't, and sometimes I don't. There are moments where I don't. I'm not a sweaty person, so to me, it's like, well, I'm not getting sweat all over it. But I think that the right thing to do is wipe it down. And I never look at somebody who's wiping down their machine and think, oh my God, what a weirdo. No, I think, oh my gosh, that's so nice. They're going above and beyond. And I try to go above and beyond as frequently as possible. There are days where I just like literally forget about it. But I would say wipe down your machine. Now, if you're thinking, oh my God, wipe down my machine, what do I wipe it with? Am I supposed to forget it? Listen, it's gonna be okay. Every single gym is either gonna have 2 things. They're gonna have wipes that you can easily just pull out and they'll be literally all over the gym floor, or They're gonna have paper towel machines and spray, or just like towels, like regular cleaning towels and spray. The gym that I go to currently, when I walk into the gym floor, there's a stack of towels and the sprays. I just spray a towel and I go and walk into the gym, and then I just use it. I just wipe it down after every exercise, after every machine that I use. You don't need to violently wipe everything down. You don't need to like squeegee the dumbbells or anything crazy. Just give it a nice little swoop, just to kind of show that courtesy. And especially if you're somebody who is sweaty, just wipe it down. Just wipe that sweat down, girl, okay? I just think it's nice, and it just like shows that you care about the space. So I would say, if you're torn between not wiping and wiping, go for the wiping. And if you walk into your gym and you feel freaked out because I told you to wipe your thing down and there's no wipes, it's okay. You'll be fine. Just don't do it. But don't freak out. Don't freak out. Number 2 is that it is okay to wait for somebody to finish their set. Like, it's okay for you to kind of stand by a machine if you want to use it and you're waiting for them. That is pretty common that people will wait to use the machine that you're using. But the etiquette is to just not like stand violently close to them. Just give them like an appropriate amount of space. They'll probably notice that you are waiting for the machine, but just make sure that you aren't like, staring at them or making them feel uncomfortable, because it is their turn and you want to be able to give them that turn. Now, it's also appropriate to ask somebody how many sets they have left on their workout. So sets, if you remember back in where I showed you what the workout was, sets are how many times you're doing the exercise, right? So 3 sets of 10 reps. So it's perfectly fine for me to go up to somebody using a leg press machine and say, hey, can I ask how many sets you have left? And if they say, oh, I just got started, I have 4 sets left. Okay, no worries. That's a moment where you would want to move on and go somewhere else. But if you ask and they say, oh, I just have 1 more, awesome. Then just stand off to the side, go on your phone, whatever, wait for them. I feel like that's maybe like a down the line tip, but also just know that somebody might ask you how many sets you have left, which leads me into my next point. That's don't hog equipment or space. You're allowed to, of course, do your workout, but sometimes people just are kind of hogging it, especially if it's like something where there's only 1 of them in the entire gym. Like, don't be that person. Go and do your sets. Take your rests in between if you need to, but don't sit there on your phone in between every set, and don't walk around but don't be a hog. Don't be a hog. Nobody likes a hog. So don't do that. And then if you see somebody doing that, that's annoying. And I guess don't say anything, because that would then also kind of be annoying, but don't be that person, don't be that person. The next thing is to not take photos or videos or anything in the locker room ever. That will always be like gym policy, because obviously people are going to be a little bit nudie in there sometimes. But I see girls at my old gym literally all the time taking mirror selfies. And I'm like I've been guilty of doing it like 1 time when I was literally the only person in the locker room. But if there is somebody in there, don't do it. And ever since then, I did that 1 time and I was like, you know what? No, I shouldn't do that. Because if somebody walks in, I just shouldn't do it. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Take a picture on the gym floor, take a mirror selfie out there if you need to, but do not do it in the locker room. Don't be on FaceTime, and honestly, don't even be on a call in the locker room. I just feel like it can get confusing and people might think that you're on FaceTime. So that's just an easy one. And then this is kind of like an unspoken thing, but if there's a piece of equipment that you want to use and you're not sure if somebody else is using it or not, we all have headphones on, right? So it's hard to really communicate to people. If you're trying to talk to someone, it might take a couple times before they hear you. So there's kind of this unspoken thing that we do where if you want to use something, you kind of go up to it, you make eye contact, or first you point at the thing. So I'm going to use this remote as an example. I'll be like, are you using that? Are you using that? I don't know. It's just this weird gym thing that people do. Are you done? Oh, that's just what we do, right? So if you need to use something, but you're not sure if somebody is done or not, give them that kind of are you done? Kind of nod. Everyone does that. It's easier than straight up having to take your headphones off and having a conversation. So just give a little point and nod to indicate, and check in if they're still using that thing. And then my last gym etiquette is to smile. to smile at people. Not that you owe them that, but I think it's a lot easier to make friends and to feel comfortable at the gym when you smile at people. There are a lot of people at the gym with RBF, and I try to be the opposite of that. Like when I make eye contact with someone, I always smile at them. They always tend to smile back at me, and I think it's just a really good place or really good way to just kind of like curate the vibe, and to potentially start making friends at the gym, which ultimately for me has always been a goal. Maybe for you it's not, but I think just like being happy and having like a good energy makes the experience better. And I feel like other people try sometimes to do that as well. And then you'll connect with like the best people at the gym. All right, before we wrap up, my last piece of advice, and this one is super important, is to remember that you are allowed to take up space at the gym. All right, you are paying the same amount as anyone else there. So you are allowed to take up space. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner. It doesn't matter if you are in a body where you feel like you aren't as worthy to be in that space as anyone else. Everybody starts somewhere, and you are allowed to be there. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to be confused. You are a human, and you are going and doing something that is good for your health. And that is more than a lot of people are doing. And you deserve to be proud of yourself for that. You are allowed to take up space. You do not have to be apologetic. You are not an inconvenience. That is something that I have to tell myself a lot. Even if you end up walking around the gym floor looking like a deer in the headlights, looking like you're confused, looking like you have no idea where you are or what you're doing, you're allowed to do that. It is not illegal. You can be confused. It's okay. You can ask questions. You can be wrong. You can embarrass yourself. I dropped my hydro flask. Actually, no, it was like a Stanley, and literally got water everywhere. And these guys had to run over and help me. It was cringe. It was cringe. But you know what? I survived. And do you think that they ever think about that? No. And I haven't even thought about it until right now. It happens. We're human. Everyone's just trying their best. And ultimately, if you are showing up for yourself at the gym, again, that is something to be so proud of. So don't let the anxiety be the reason that you don't do that. I hope you guys like this video. I hope this was helpful. I know that it can be overwhelming going to the gym, but I hope that this made it a little less overwhelming, and I'm excited to hear about your gym adventures if this video inspired you to sign up. So make sure to leave a comment if you signed up for a gym because of this video. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Coles, and I help normal people lose weight in a normal way without being restrictive and while still eating all the foods you love. I made this junk food for weight loss cookbook because I wanted to show women that they can eat things like chili dogs and breakfast burritos and still lose weight. And if you're interested in more personalized help, you should sign up for my coaching program, where we work specifically with women who struggle with gym anxiety, who struggle with not knowing exactly what to do at the gym, and who don't know what they should be eating in order to reach their goals. So make sure to apply for that. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe and come back for more, because I am making more freaking content for you because I love you.